We all envy football players for their lives filled with money, fame, and glory. Who among us doesn't wish to live in this bliss? But wait a moment, are you ready to make the same sacrifices and work as hard as they did to achieve this success? If the path were that easy, everyone would already be rich. But the truth is, the road is full of hardships. The journey is long and exhausting, and very few people are capable of continuing on it. Mohamed Salah is one of those who managed to face this challenge. Today, without a doubt, he is one of the best players in the world, a legend at Liverpool, and one of the top stars of the Premier League. Mohamed Salah wasn't born at the pinnacle of glory, but he took a path full of challenges and obstacles. Yet he never stopped pursuing his dream. And if you don't know the true story of Mohamed Salah before becoming one of the world's best players, then you are certainly in the right place.
Salah good! Salah good! Salah good! Salah good!
Let's go back in time to June 15th, 1992, the day Mohamed Salah was born in the city of Tanta, Egypt. Salah was born into a family with a middle-class financial status, where his father was a merchant and his mother a housewife. Like other children, Mohamed Salah began his journey with football at the age of 7, playing in the streets with his friends. When Salah was young, he had 3 players he looked up to as role models: Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo the Phenomenon, and Francesco Totti. Soon, we'll discover how his dream of playing alongside Totti at AS Roma came true, a dream that had been with him since childhood. Within that childhood, his father decided to encourage him to play football at the Bazoun Youth Centre, where he began training and developing as a young player. As time passed, Salah reached the age of 14 and participated in one of the biggest talent discovery competitions in Egypt at the time, known as the Pepsi Schools League. This competition was closely followed by scouts from Egyptian clubs every season. Thanks to his outstanding performance, Salah caught the attention of a scout from Mokawloon Al-Arab, who approached him and said, "You have great talent and exceptional skills. What do you think about joining us at Mokawloon?" In that moment, Salah felt immense joy and accepted the scout's offer without hesitation, even before speaking with his family. He knew that Mokawloon Al-Arab was historically known for having one of the best youth academies in Egypt, with no other Egyptian club matching its strength in that regard. This was the reason behind Salah's happiness, as the opportunity to join Mokawloon was a golden one. After that, Salah went to Cairo to join the team, but things were not that easy. The team's training facility was very far from his home, and let's not forget that in 2006, when he joined Mokawloon, he was only 14 years old. He had to wake up daily at dawn to travel to Cairo for training, a journey that took 4.5 hours. After finishing practice, he would return home, taking the same amount of time. He repeated this routine 5 times a week with one goal in mind: to become a professional football player. Salah's determination to become a footballer was astonishing, but his mother's interventions almost made him quit football and training. She was very worried about him due to the amount of travel, especially since he was skipping school to attend practice. At that time, she feared that her son might get injured or give up football, which would mean losing his future, as he was neglecting his education and could end up with neither football nor schooling. However, in the end, his father managed to convince his mother to let him continue pursuing his dream. Indeed, his father had a vision for the future, as he saw Salah's promising potential. But I have a shocking piece of information for you. Do you know what Salah's position was at that time? You definitely won't believe it, but Mohamed Salah, who is now considered one of the best wingers in the world, used to play as a left-back back then. However, in one match, the coach decided to try Salah in the attacking line, and from that moment on, he transformed into Mohamed Salah the winger, who became the best youth player in Egypt. Of course, Salah's current desire to score goals isn't something new. It has been a part of his personality for a long time. In one of Mokawloon's matches, his team secured a sweeping 4-0 victory, but in the locker room, Salah was crying heavily. So, what do you think was the reason for that? The reason is that despite his team's big win and him being the star of the team, he didn't score any goals in that match, which made him feel sad and regretful. Thanks to Salah's constant desire to be the best and his remarkable performances against the biggest Egyptian teams, he was promoted to the first team, making his debut as a key player in the 2011 to 2012 season.
I think my favorite moment or favorite moments for me when I was in Arab Contractor, my old club, till the coach told me you will be tomorrow with the first team. It was for me unbelievable moment, and I couldn't believe.
During that season, Salah did not differentiate between teams, whether the opponent was a big team or a small one. He always performed at his best, becoming a nightmare for any defender who faced him. On the national team front, Mohamed Salah represented Egypt in all age groups and participated in the 2011 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Egyptian team managed to advance from the group stage, collecting 7 points, tying with the group leader, Brazil. However, Egypt's dream ended with a 2-1 loss to Argentina, despite Salah's outstanding performance in that match. After that tournament, Egyptian clubs began racing to sign Salah, but the first surprise came from the president of Zamalek at the time, one of Egypt's biggest clubs, who stated that Salah didn't have the level required to join the team. He also added that Salah needed to work on developing himself more and that it was far too early for him to be qualified to play for Zamalek. In that season, the Egyptian league was halted due to certain issues, keeping Salah with Mokawloon after his rejection from Zamalek. This period turned out to be beneficial for him, as scouts from the Swiss club Basel were tracking his unique talent. In a friendly match between Egypt's under-23 Olympic team and Basel, Mohamed Salah came on as a substitute in the second half and successfully scored both goals of the match. Following this outstanding performance, Basel's officials quickly moved to negotiate the signing of this young Egyptian at any cost, especially as Mohamed Salah was on the verge of playing with Egypt's national team in the 2012 London Olympics, which meant that any other club could snatch him away. In one of the tournament's matches, Salah missed the starting lineup against Brazil due to a minor injury, but with the Egyptian team trailing 3-0 at halftime, the coach brought him on in the second half. As soon as he entered, he changed the course of the match entirely, and Egypt scored 2 goals, one of which was by Salah. During those minutes, Salah shone and unsettled Brazil's defense, putting on an exceptional display against Real Madrid star Marcelo, delivering an unforgettable 45 minutes. In each group stage match, Mohamed Salah scored a goal consistently until Egypt's journey ended in the second round at the hands of Japan. After the Olympics, Salah went directly to Switzerland, where hopes were high for him by Basel's head coach. He was especially relied upon to fill the gap left by Herdan Shaqiri, who had moved to Bayern Munich. At first, there was significant concern about Salah's ability to adapt in Switzerland, given the harsh cold and the difficulty of learning the language. But Salah was only focused on one thing: playing football. For him, football was the only refuge that helped him overcome all difficulties. From his very first season, he quickly proved himself, becoming the starting winger and the best player on the team. Yet his success was not confined to Switzerland. He began building his reputation across Europe. This became evident in the Europa League quarter-finals when Basel faced Tottenham. That match was not just an ordinary encounter, it felt like a duel between Mohamed Salah and the Welsh star Gareth Bale. Salah showed no fear facing Bale, nor did he care that Bale was then considered the best player in the English Premier League. And he scored a decisive goal against Tottenham, leading his team to the semi-finals and proving to everyone that a promising future awaited him on European fields. Salah didn't stop at shining against Tottenham. Next in line was another English team, Chelsea. Driven by his passion for competing against top clubs, he also managed to score a goal against Chelsea. By the end of the 2012 to 2013 season, Salah was crowned Swiss League Player of the Year, confirming that his success was no coincidence but the beginning of an extraordinary career. In the new season, Salah once again amazed everyone with his outstanding performances. In another encounter between Basel and Chelsea, this time in the UEFA Champions League, Salah scored the winning goal for his team. Following this remarkable performance, his departure became only a matter of time, especially with major interest from Liverpool, Chelsea and Tottenham, which had made signing Salah a top priority in the winter transfer window. Although Liverpool was determined to acquire him, a single phone call from coach Jose Mourinho completely changed the course of events. Thus, Mohamed Salah officially joined the English Premier League with Chelsea in 2014 in a deal worth £11 million. From that moment, a new chapter began in his professional career with one of England's most prestigious clubs under the guidance of coach Jose Mourinho. However, contrary to expectations, Salah's experience with Chelsea was not as successful as everyone had anticipated. Mourinho at that time saw Salah as a backup for the Brazilian Willian. Even after scoring his first goal in the London derby against Arsenal and securing a another goal in the following match, he still couldn't secure a regular starting spot in the team. Mourinho continued to view Salah as a substitute, often only bringing him on for the last 10 minutes of games when the team was already ahead. According to testimonies from several players, Mourinho's treatment of Salah was very poor. In one match, Mourinho suddenly decided to take Salah off at halftime, and in the dressing room, he harshly criticized him, leaving Salah in tears in front of his teammates. This incident was recounted by John Obi Mikel, who was Salah's teammate at Chelsea during that period. If Salah had been a passive player who only cared about money, he would certainly have chosen to stay at Chelsea, thinking, no problem, I'll continue playing at a big club even if I'm just a substitute. But Mohamed Salah's ambitions were greater than simply earning titles or money, so he requested that Chelsea's management allow him to move on loan, beginning his journey of rediscovery with Fiorentina in Italy in 2015. Salah made an unexpected breakthrough, quickly becoming the best player on his team. In just 5 months with Fiorentina, he scored 9 goals and provided 4 assists, including the winning goal against Tottenham in the Europa League and another game winner against Inter Milan in the league. His finest performance, however, came against Juventus, where he helped his team win and break Juventus's unbeaten streak. Salah scored twice in the first leg of the Italian Cup semi-final, one of which was the result of a brilliant solo effort, showcasing his skills to everyone, including Jose Mourinho. Although Fiorentina submitted a request to sign Salah permanently, Salah decided to take a better step in his career. Instead of staying at Chelsea and trying his luck again, Salah chose to move to Roma on a one-season loan. There, Salah was greeted by the greatest gift in his career, Italian coach Spalletti. According to Salah, Spalletti was the coach who worked the most on developing his individual skills, as he had the utmost belief in his talent. Additionally, this opportunity represented the fulfillment of one of his childhood dreams, as he would finally play alongside his childhood idol, Francesco Totti, whom he considered a role model and inspiration. In Salah's first season with Roma, he began to evolve into the standout player we know today, scoring 15 goals and providing 7 assists to his teammates. Due to his exceptional performance, Salah was awarded Roma's Player of the Season for 2015 to 2016. At this point, AS Roma decided to buy Mohamed Salah permanently from Chelsea for €15 million. Salah rewarded Roma's management for their trust by surpassing himself in the following season, achieving 34 goal contributions across all competitions, with 19 goals and 15 assists in 41 matches. Once again, Mohamed Salah attracted the attention of English clubs, with Liverpool at the forefront. Despite Liverpool fans' previous disappointment when he chose Chelsea over them 3 years earlier, they would soon forgive him in the days to come. Signing with Liverpool at the start of the 2017 to 2018 season marked the beginning of a story almost like a fairy tale. Even the most optimistic fans could not have predicted the level of performance Salah would bring in his first season. Interestingly, Salah wasn't Liverpool's first choice for the left-wing position. He came after other options like Pulisic, Draxler, and Julian Brandt. In the end, Salah was chosen for a transfer fee of €40 million, making him the most expensive African player at that time. However, his arrival sparked some doubts among journalists about his potential for success, especially given his unsuccessful stint with Chelsea in the Premier League. But the Mohamed Salah, who arrived at Liverpool, was a completely different player from the young man who sat on Chelsea's bench. In his very first Premier League match, Salah scored his first goal against Watford, signaling a powerful start. And despite the departure of the team's star, Philippe Coutinho, to Barcelona, Liverpool didn't falter thanks to Salah's ongoing brilliance. During that season, Salah delivered an unforgettable, legendary performance etched in the memory of fans and the history books. At the end of that season, Mohamed Salah earned the Premier League Golden Boot with 32 goals, setting a new record for the most goals scored by a top scorer in the league, a record that held until Norwegian star Erling Haaland broke it with his exceptional performance. For the first time in Mohamed Salah's career, his name was being compared to the world's best players as he achieved numbers comparable to those recorded by Messi and Ronaldo during their peak years. Across all competitions, Salah made 60 goal contributions in just 52 matches. His goal tally for the 2017 to 2018 season reached 44 goals, and he won the Premier League Player of the Season award. Salah had a significant impact in all of Liverpool's major matches, especially in the Champions League. In the quarter-finals against Manchester City, he excelled by scoring in both legs, and in the semi-final against his former team, Roma, Salah contributed to Liverpool's 5-2 victory. He scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists. In the Champions League final, the eagerly anticipated clash between Liverpool and Real Madrid, everyone described it as the showdown between Mohamed Salah and Cristiano Ronaldo. Despite Salah's brilliance throughout the season, his season ended in dramatic tragedy. In the Champions League final match between Real Madrid and Liverpool, Salah left in tears after a shoulder injury resulting from a rough challenge by Sergio Ramos. This injury cast doubt on Salah's participation in the 2018 World Cup in Russia. However, Salah raced against time to recover and join Egypt's national team for the World Cup in Russia after his Champions League final injury. Although Egypt's performance in the tournament was disappointing, the one bright spot was Salah's performance, as he scored Egypt's only 2 goals in the World Cup. In the 2018 to 2019 season, Salah faced criticism from the English press, which downplayed his performance and labelled him a one-season wonder. However, Salah ignored these critiques and began the season with a strong performance, continuing to impress with Liverpool. Despite losing the Premier League title by just 1 point to Manchester City, he claimed the top scorer title for the 2nd consecutive season. In the Champions League, Salah returned to the final after the historic comeback against Barcelona at Anfield, a match he missed due to an injury against Newcastle. But he made up for it in the final, opening the scoring against Tottenham just 2 minutes into the game. Salah led Liverpool to their first Champions League victory in 14 years, ending the season with 27 goals and 12 assists across all competitions. In the 2019 to 2020 season, Salah achieved the most valuable accomplishment in Liverpool's history by leading the team to win the English Premier League title for the first time after a 30-year wait, just as he had previously led his national team to the 2018 World Cup after a 28-year absence. Salah finished the season with a total of 23 goals and 13 assists across all competitions. In the 2020 to 2021 season, Liverpool struggled due to numerous injuries, but Salah was the team's only hope. Despite the difficulties, he managed to finish the season with 31 goals, 22 of them in the Premier League. Imagine that this is considered a bad season for Salah. So how would he be at his best? And with all the speculations suggesting his time at Liverpool was coming to an end, he returned in the 2021 to 2022 season to deliver, in my view, the best season of his career. At that time, Salah was a strong contender for the Best Player in the World award, alongside Karim Benzema. Liverpool was close to winning all possible titles, reaching the Champions League final once again to face Real Madrid. But as you know, European dreams end at Real Madrid's doorstep, and Liverpool lost the title after an incredible performance by goalkeeper Courtois. The Premier League title also slipped away by just 1 point to Manchester City. Individually, Salah won the Premier League Golden Boot for the 3rd time in his career, finishing the season with 31 goals and 15 assists across all competitions. As for the 2022 to 2023 season, it was a challenging one for the club, as Liverpool lost against almost every club and ended the league in 5th place, trailing the champions Manchester City by 22 points. For the first time, Mohamed Salah and Liverpool failed to qualify for the Champions League. Nevertheless, Salah remained one of the standout players on the team and maintained his outstanding performance despite the collective decline in the club's form. He finished the season with 30 goals and 16 assists across all competitions. In the 2023 to 2024 season, despite his brilliance, Salah faced some challenges, including a dip in performance in certain matches. These matches saw some tension between him and the manager, Jurgen Klopp, raising questions about his future at the club, especially as his contract neared its end. He finished the season with 25 goals and 14 assists across all competitions. Mohamed Salah, as we have always known him, continues to prove that he is not just an ordinary player, but an icon in the world of football. Despite the challenges, his numbers consistently demonstrate his immense value. With each new season, expectations only grow for what he can bring in terms of creativity and contributions. Salah's future with Liverpool might be uncertain, but his passion for the game and loyalty to the fans will remain a defining mark in his career. We look forward to seeing what the coming chapters hold in the story of this great star.